What's up, guys? Movie Buff talking Knives Out. Before we get into this, man, let's just go down the roster of this movie, man. Daniel Craig, Chris Evans, Anna Del Armas, Jamie Lee Curtis, Michael Shannon, Don Johnson, Toni Collette, Lakeith Stanfield, Christopher Plummer. I mean, the list just goes on and on, guys. This movie has an incredible cast behind it for good reason. This was a very true to life Clue, whodunit, that type of movie, that type of realm. And man, it was done very well. You know, we had a similar movie on, I think it was a year or two ago, and I can't remember quite the title escapes me, but it was on the train, and the one person is dead, and then I rule out no suspects, like everybody's a suspect. It was like a whodunit crime thriller, which wasn't terrible. I enjoyed the movie, but Knives Out is how that is supposed to be done. And so we open the movie, and you've got this, this crime thriller writer, and Christopher Plummer, and he is the one who has this conglomerate, this huge empire of these books that he's written. And, he's done everything from, murder mystery to thriller. So he's got this huge array of just fans, and he's almost kind of like a George R.R. Martin or something like that. He's got this huge following, and he's got tons of money in estates. Well, as you could imagine, his family are all gimme. They got their hands out, and he's been kind of like taking care of them for better, for worse, than the most part for their whole lives and stuff. And you can kind of tell, every one of the people in the movie, he's throwing this big birthday party and stuff, and he's planning to cut each one of them off. Okay, like, you've been suckling on my teat for long enough. Time to go find your own thing. Go make your own money. Go make your own way. And that's kind of how it starts, because everyone is not happy with no more ATM. I've got to go work for a living. I got to do this and I got to do that. So they're not happy. So you're like trying to factor in, motivation for each people. Like, well, she could have done it because of this, and well, he did piss him off, and so you're the constant, trying to figure it out is super fun. And then you've got Daniel Craig is like LeBlanc or what? He's like this world-renowned like detective crime solver. He's more than a cop. He's like a private eye type deal. And he's with the cops, and they're working on to figure out, who killed this guy. Because at first, it looks like a suicide. Like, it's just, he slits his throat and stuff. So you're like, okay, it's a suicide. So everyone's kind of like waiting on the will reading and who's going to get what. And they're all gathered for this funeral. But he comes to this funeral, and they realize, maybe there's more here than just a suicide. And once he realizes, yep, this is not a suicide, I'm ruling nobody out. So he questions the entire family, all the way down to the housemaid. And the way the movie unfolds, just clue by clue by clue, man, is riveting. And it keeps you in the entire time. I had a really great time with this movie. Other than that, you can't really say much else because spoiler alert, you know what I mean? And I don't want to spoil the movie for anybody, because this is one that's fun to figure out. As you're going, you're like, oh my God, what? You just don't see it coming. And even when you have the answer, it's still not as clear as you thought. There's still that one little twist left. I mean, and they go right down to the last few minutes of the movie, just turning the twist knob, like just throwing you another curveball. And it was very enjoyable, very well acted. Like I said, you've got a freaking all-star cast and stuff. So, I mean, this is one to see, guys. It's killing at the box office. It's getting all kind of awards buzz. So definitely go check this one out, man. It's way worth it. See it in any format. There's no special way to see this one, but definitely see it before it runs out of theaters. And until next time, guys, we'll see you at the movies.